Why should you be doing Pilates? I have had this channel for a while now. I have done loads of videos and Pilates workouts. I suddenly thought I've never actually answered this question. And it's something that people ask me all the time. And at the time of recording this, there is quite a surge in the popularity of Pilates. And I think sometimes people just want to know, what is it all about anyway? Now, I have been teaching Pilates for around 20 years. I've taught everyone from teenagers to my own children during lockdown. I did some kids Pilates to pre and postnatal, all the way through to some of my ladies in their 70s and 80s. And I did have a lady in her 90s once. And I think Pilates is amazing. So I'm going to share with you what I think are the 6 most important physical benefits of Pilates. We'll leave the mental stuff for another day because that's a whole new ball game. But I would stress, whilst I love Pilates, I don't think it's the be all and end all. I think there's other forms of exercise that are really beneficial, particularly strength and conditioning and lifting weights and resistance training. But I'll explain the benefits of Pilates towards that as I go through the 6 benefits today, okay? So I'm talking about adults, particularly people who perhaps are new-ish to an exercise program or want to get fit. What are the benefits and why should we all be doing it? Well, number one, and I'm sure you know this, it is a strength and conditioning type of exercise, but it's slow, controlled movements. So it's going to help us build muscle, and it's also going to help us build muscle tone. Now, I caveat that, little asterisk on that one, because muscle tone comes when you either increase the size of your muscle or reduce your body fat. So you don't actually see tone unless one or both of those things happen. So you may be building tone, you may be building strength and size in your muscles, but you may not see it if you are carrying excess body fat. Really important to state that. Pilates does not give you long, lean muscles. You don't want long, lean muscles. You want muscles that are going to support you, and you want muscles that are the right length for your body frame. You can't make them longer with Pilates. That's really important to state. However, Pilates can help you build muscle strength and endurance. So that is really important for all adults, particularly as we get older. Number 2, it is a full body workout, but what I think the real benefit is here, that we focus first on the core and on your trunk, and we build outwards. The benefit of that is that we're thinking about the muscles that support your spine, your torso, your pelvis, your trunk. These are key areas, shoulders, hips, back, that can start to get a little bit niggly as we get older. So really important to build our strength around our center. Also, core strength can help you with other forms of exercise. So you can't necessarily become a faster runner because you do Pilates, but you can build the core strength and endurance to enable you to run better and more efficiently for longer. Let's take the example of if you went and tried to do a beginner strength and conditioning program in a gym, and the first thing you might think about would be a bicep curl. Okay, now I wouldn't prescribe that to anyone, by the way. Anyone's first strength and conditioning class, no way. However, it's familiar with most people. But if you think about a bicep curl, you're just training 1, arguably 2, supporting muscles here. You're not doing much. With Pilates, you are going to just be training your entire trunk section and really thinking about the way that your body works. So it's a little bit more complex, which I'll get onto in one of my later benefits, but it is a core strength workout that starts with the trunk. We do use the whole body as the exercises get progressively more challenging, but we start here. This is your fundamental. Number 3, and I think this is something that's not talked about enough, it is what we call in the fitness world multi-planar. All that means is that you are moving in lots of different directions in lots of different ways. Why is this important? Because we very often only walk forwards, backwards, sit. Even if you run, you're running forwards, probably not ever running backwards. Our bodies need to be able to move sideways, we need to be able to twist. So how this looks in Pilates is that we might be doing a side exercise here. We might be adding a twist. Then we might move on to your back. Then we might move on to your hands and knees. We might do some work standing. So your body and your core is having a workout in all sorts of different positions, in all sorts of different ways. And this is really good for your joints. It's good for your nervous system. It's good for your spine to have that challenge. It's also very good for your vestibular system that helps with your balance. Number 4, Pilates is a gateway to lots of other forms of exercise. And this is one of the reasons I particularly love it so much. I'm all about breaking down barriers to exercise. I think a lot of people feel like it's quite a scary thing to do and quite a scary place. There are the exercises and the non-exercises. In my opinion, Pilates bridges a little gap. And so if perhaps you are new to exercise and you could start with Pilates, that can seem a bit more achievable, doable. There's no jumping around, there's no expensive equipment. It's slower, therefore, if you struggle with coordination, it is manageable. But once you get the confidence with that, it can help you to move on to other things. Now, I've already mentioned resistance training, how Pilates is a really good foundation for that, but also a really good foundation for other forms of sports. And I'm sure you know this, but there are footballers, rugby players, athletes, all doing Pilates. And if they're not doing Pilates in a class, I can guarantee they will be doing a lot of core work, a lot of the core principles and strength and conditioning moves from Pilates as part of their training program. It is a brilliant gateway and it can really help you build that confidence to move on to other things. Number 5, it is a skill. Now, I love the science and the emerging science of exercise and our brain health. And one of the things that we really need to do as adults getting older is learn skills. So we are challenging our brains, we are challenging our nervous systems, and we are layering on skills. We are building those neural pathways in our bodies that are really going to help us as we get older. Pilates is based on series of exercises that Joseph Pilates created. But as Pilates instructors, we have a little artistic license to adapt and use based on the clients we have in our classes and those we see in front of us. However, fundamentally, it is a skill. We are learning something. So if you feel a little bit daunted by perhaps going and learning to play tennis or learning to do diving or horse riding, Pilates is still challenging, but it is still a skill. It's still something that you're learning, and that's really good for your brain. And number 6, it is a brilliant mind-body practice. Now, I said at the start, I'll talk a little bit more about the mental health benefits of Pilates another time. But what I love about Pilates is it's something that you can do at the end of the day. It's not going to get you hot and sweaty and full of adrenaline like a run might, but actually what it can do is really calm your brain. You're focusing on your mind and body connection. You're focusing on your breath and how the breath helps with the movement. You're thinking about different parts of your body. It can be very present, so it can just take you away from your day and the stresses of your day and make you think about your body, and it's a lovely escape just for the 10, 20, 30 minutes that you choose to do your class. So I hope you found that helpful as what are the real benefits of doing Pilates. I also want to know why you like Pilates. I'm going to get some feedback from some of my own Pilates participants to find out what they love about it and why they think that you should do it too. If you have any questions about why Pilates is beneficial for everyone, or perhaps what's stopping you getting started, please leave me a comment. I would love to know. You can also subscribe to my Pilates newsletter that comes out once a week. In that, I share my latest Pilates videos and advice, so you get that straight to your email inbox. There's a link below this video so that you can do that. Do go and find some of my beginner Pilates workouts on my channel. Have a go. Let me know how you get on and how it makes you feel too. And I'll see you next time.